What's something everyone should experience in their lifetime? Seeing the Milky Way. Hell yes, let's bring back natural darkness. Looking at a clear sky full of stars. Done that on a beach with a clear sky on a starry night and saw 5 shooting stars in 10 minutes. I was fully amazed. Out of curiosity, do you remember what month of the year that was? You might have seen a meteor shower. Some of the best showers can get upwards of 2 a minute. A healthy non-toxic relationship. Experiencing my first currently. I had no idea it could be like this. 3. Living by yourself. Living alone makes me extremely happy, peaceful and calm. If I were financially able to swing it 100% of the time, I definitely would. Getting to know people that aren't like you. The Northern Lights. They really are beautiful. We saw them in Yellowknife, Canada. It's well situated for the lights, but it still takes a little luck. We had cloud cover all but the very last night, so glad for that last night. That's on my vacation list. Fly to Alaska and do one of those trips. Amazingly, the trips to see the lights over a few days are at least 50% cheaper than the flights. Or I could go to Springfield and into Seymour Skinner's kitchen. Failure, and the maturity to accept and learn from it. The Aurora Borealis. Getting a hug from someone who has been waiting all day to see you. The last hug my dad gave me when I was leaving after my visit for his last birthday. He knew it would be the last. It was the best hug I ever got. I miss you, Dad. More importantly than sex, the peace of cuddling with someone you can trust. Too bad I don't trust anyone. Astronomy. Seeing the planets with your own eyes is an experience I will never forget. The astronomy department at the university in my town has an open house every month where people can just go to the observatory and look through the telescopes. It's amazing. Traveling abroad and actually experiencing another culture. I was much further right and patriotic before I started traveling. We don't own happiness. We don't have government perfect either. Gaining perspective is incredibly eye-opening. Watching the ocean at night and the dead of winter on a silent beach. I've never felt more connected to the history of everything than at those times. Life. I could use it right about now. Living alone. Being truly by yourself for long periods of time can teach you invaluable things when becoming an adult. I've been with my fiance now for about 4 years. Living with them for about 2 years. And I tell ya, even though I love him and plan to spend the rest of my life living with him, I do sometimes miss living by myself. I had lived alone for about 5 years before moving in with my now partner. My place. All to myself. Had to learn how to cook, clean, organize my space, budget my money, etc adulting shit. There's a certain novelty to living by yourself for an extended period of time that made it easier to move in with someone else, mainly because one of us actually knew what we were doing lol. Security. Feeling safe and free from worry, and, in our day and age, being debt-free. A massage. Not sexual in any way though. A relaxing massage of the back, thighs, legs and feet. It's truly refreshing and you feel new and energized. Unless you happen to be extremely ticklish. Find yourself with a case of the giggles which only makes you so uncomfortable that you giggle more. At which point you find yourself in an endless 15-minute giggling freakout and vow never to show your face in a massage parlor again because you're so embarrassed. Not that I know. Being employed at an entry-level, public-facing position such as salesperson, cashier, wait staff, etc. This right here. I think everyone should have to work in these industries at least for a little. Teaches character and humbles people. Might sound depressing but it's not meant to. Losing the fear of death. It wipes away all cares and lets you be free. Fast food and or retail labor. If you've never experienced it or anything like it, your eyes are bound to be opened to it by the experience. At least, I would never have understood. Crap jobs for crap wages. I love a fast food cashier's reaction when something wrong happens to my order and they tell me with and you can see they're preparing to get shit for it. I say it's all good. Shit happens, friend. When someone responded, I see you've worked fast food too. Nah bro. I'm just not an asshole. Totality during a full solar eclipse. 2024 is coming soon enough. Going to be streaking across the south, starting in Texas, toward the east coast. Start making your plans now. I came here to say this. I was barely inside the path of totality, so we were only in total darkness a few seconds, but it was one of the coolest experiences in my life. I plan to be in the center in 2024. Hiking to a mountaintop to see the sunrise. Snow. I still have never felt it. You are welcome to shovel my driveway at your heart's content. Internet friend. The unconditional love of a dog or cat that you've rescued. I love my dog, but I'm pretty sure he's easily swayed based upon who has snacks and is willing to share. Live your life on your own terms. It seems simple but can be really hard depending on one's circumstances. Came here to say this. The wife and I just took a month off and traveled Europe. We aren't rich. She quit her job. I missed out on some contract work. But who gives a shit? We're all one drunk driver, bad CT, or unlucky break from absolute catastrophe. Either way, we say embrace what life has to offer while we can. Tomorrow isn't promised. Traveling outside their country of birth changed my life for the better for sure, and led to a life of living outside my country for a number of years before returning. Studying abroad in college or some other way to briefly live in a different county culture. I truly believe this would help lessen racism, discrimination. Traveling and exposure to other cultures has a profound effect on people. Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime. Mark Twain. Your body at its peak physical capabilities. I feel this one. I've been marathon triathlon training for the last year. A few days ago in the middle of my long run I just decided fuck it. I'm gonna run 1 kilometer as fast as I can. I haven't felt that powerful since the 90s. Unconditional love, respect and trust. It creates security. Everyone should experience doing something significant for someone who cannot possibly benefit them in return, and doing so for no credit, recognition or return. Seeing your favorite band artist live. Further to that, stage diving. As a Daft Punk fan, that's one thing that will never happen. Psychedelics. Shroom trip, even a small one, would benefit most people. It's given me and others I know life-saving introspection. Scuba diving. Doesn't have to be a deep dive, but somewhere to experience the world underwater. The Grand Canyon. It's the first time in my life I realized just how small I am to this world. It's beautiful and frightening at the same time. This is the one attraction that definitely is not overrated. Pictures of it look spectacular, but they still don't come close to how amazing this looks in real life. Hiking down the canyon is one of my favorite ever experiences in my life. Just make sure you have plenty of water with you, and keep in mind that the hike back up is a lot harder than the downhill had been. Also be prepared for quick changes in the weather. I started in bright sunshine and 2 hours in there was a massive rainstorm, followed by blue skies again. A solo trip, getting out on your own and doing things on your own, is such an epic experience. A classical music performance in a historic theater. As a 37-year-old virgin, I'll say sex. I say this with all sincerity. Assuming you're guy, post a personal ad saying that you're 37-year-old virgin looking to lose your virginity. I guarantee you that there's a woman out there who will be turned on by the idea. A drastic loss in social status. Illuminating in so many ways. I've tried this and agree. Live music. There's nothing like seeing your favorite bands perform with large crowds singing along with all of their music. Financial security. I've never had it, and that simple fact has caused me more stress and anxiety than I care to admit. I do believe that though money can't bring happiness, when you don't have it, it can absolutely hinder it greatly. Indeed, money can't buy happiness, but poverty can't buy anything. Ego death. Once you get there, you start living. Live alone in nature for a week or more, without any contact with the world. It changes your entire perspective on what is actually important. Being poor. Now that I've experienced this for 30 years, can I turn in my time served for a different experience, please? Being able to confidently tell yourself that despite whatever shortcomings and failings you have, and will, endure in life, that you will be able to take it in stride and say you will be alright. That the sun will rise in the morning and you will not lose a single bit of sleep over it. You will wake up. You will rise and you will be alright. Happiness. Lucid dreaming. Climbing a mountain. Music. It's such a fascinating way of expressing emotion, and moves so many people in so many ways. I feel like it's almost a core aspect that brings everyone together in some way. Traveling alone. Having hours to spend with only your own thoughts is really powerful. Start with a hike on your own if a trip seems too big. Customer service job. Seeing the pyramids in Giza. It's inexplicable just the size and age. Reciprocal love. The confidence and joy of being happy alone. This might be a forever thing or a thing you experience prior to dating, getting married, etc. But I think everyone should experience it. It's good for the heart and brain. Skydiving. The rush is almost indescribable. I did it once. Honestly, I wasn't really afraid of heights or anything until I actually did it. Now I am to an extent. There was just something about being so high up, with nothing below you, that didn't sit right with me. But slowly falling after the chute was open was pretty cool. Everything was so quiet and you could see so far away. It was quite an experience for several reasons. I'm glad I did it, but I'll never do it again. True happiness. Not for anyone else's sake. Being truly happy all on your own, then sharing that happiness. An international vacation. Moving across the country, even just for a year. I fall into the category of the pandemic lighting a fire under my ass to do something. I'm 26 now. Moved here 5 months ago. Never left my hometown. Even went to community college in my hometown. With no support network in a 1600-mile radius. It's basically only up to you to survive. It's not super glorious. But man, I've grown more in these few months than at any other time in my 20s. In fact, I've been so poor from renting a whole house that it's forced me to quit drinking and smoking weed. So I'm like more or less always sober. Big ups. But I'm ultimately gonna move back to the home front for sure. I have a great family and I wanna move back for them. Everyone should move away from their hometown for at least a year. It either makes you realize you hated it and love your new location, or lets you appreciate the things back home that you didn't before. Or maybe a bit of both. But either way, you definitely grow a lot as a person. Buying groceries without counting the cost as you add stuff to the cart and then taking stuff out when you go over budget. Edit. True love would be good too. Okay. Not everyone can or should run a marathon. But everyone should set a physical goal that is roughly equivalent to a marathon. In terms of the relative physical challenge and the sustained training required to complete it. Because the feeling of, first, just showing up at the starting line. And second, actually crossing the finish line. That's something everyone should experience. It's one of the most satisfying moments of my life. I've told my sons about it many times. I want them to feel that feeling as much as they can. That immense sense of satisfaction and pride of accomplishment. It's simply one of the best items on the menu of human experience. I wish it for everyone. A Broadway play. Something like Lion King, Sweeney Todd, or Avenue Q. The effort, dedication, costumes, and sets are worth appreciating even if you don't like musical theater. I saw Lion King when I was like 12, and while I considered myself a little too old for the movie, the play blew my mind. Playing with your good friends as kids without a care in the world. Like where your worst fear is scraping your knee or some shit. And playing something simple like play fight or hopscotch or tag or clapping games or whatever childhood games that almost make you miss being a kid. That's my honest answer. Man, this is so true. Some of my fondest memories are ones with my best friend when we were in elementary school. We would do simple shit like pull all-nighters playing Minecraft, ride our bikes to the park, play with yo-yos, draw things in our personal sketchbooks together. There was nothing to worry about and I was just a kid enjoying myself. I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to do those things as a child. I don't know if it's a should, but I wish everyone could experience sailing. And not just being a passenger but actually operating a boat and trimming the sails. There's nothing else like it. I wish I could take everyone I meet sailing with me. Looking at planets, galaxies through a telescope. Standing up to the bully. The beach. It really does heal the soul. Riding a motorcycle solo down a country road. Wind in your face. Passing from scent to scent. Cool shade to warm air and depending on your own metal to get you home safe. You can tell this means a lot to me. Cirque du Soleil. A truly generous lover. Witnessing a birth. Witnessing a death. Did both with the same person within a week. A gondola ride in Venice, Italy. It's expensive and overrated. But one of the most magical experiences you'll get, seeing parts of the canals that are only traversable by boat. Jazz Fest in New Orleans. Being wrong. Being shown that you're wrong. A lot. Honestly, defeat. Losing at something. Being denied first place and losing all the awards etc. that come with first. When I say this, I'm not talking in sports, but also in life. Being defeated sucks. But it's what comes after that truly defines people. How will you respond? What lessons did you learn? How will you cope with it? What will you do different next time? Will you bounce back and be better, or will you use all your energy to sulk in shame or blame? Love lol. Like walking on clouds. When's it's real? Having sex. Real. Intimate. I can't believe this is real and it feels this good sex. Peace and quiet of nature. Driving out to the wilderness and being able to sit and think deeply without the noises of traffic and city life helps you relax and get away from your busy life. I recommend at least once a month. Plus the views of the night ski is breathtaking. Having a pet. Gratitude. It's so wonderful when someone does something for you for no reason other than they are grateful for your existence. Being debt-free, if only for a moment. Psychedelic mushrooms. Literally the best day of my entire life is tripping on mushrooms and wandering through the forest by the ocean for a few hours. Cuddling. It means more than sex, although sex is great. But the feeling of just holding someone. To me there's nothing like it or better. Especially if it's someone you genuinely care about or have feelings for. Even if you lose them eventually, you always have the memories of the moments you held another person tight and they held you. I think people should go camping once. It's very incredible the feeling when you are in nature and build your own fire and maybe even catch your own food. Very eye-opening. Happiness. Everybody should experience this and I hope it would be a lasting thing. Ice cream. Learn an instrument and play your favorite song on it. The feeling is spiritual. A decent fucking childhood. Go see some stars. Go camping in a national park. Watch the stars. Go see a freaking meteor shower in the desert. The cosmos are fucking rad. Man. I'm lucky enough to live in a rural area so it's not hard to get away from the lights and noise. Humble pie. Whether it's a literal ass kicking or simply a moment that puts you in your place. Empathy. But as a character trait. Not just a one-time thing. A retail or food service job. Getting screamed at over a burger while only making minimum wage humbles you real quick. To have someone who you can trust your life with. It's a different kind of peace. It could be a family member, romantic partner or a friend. Knowing that someone genuinely got your back is a gift to the soul. IDK how to explain it further. Virtual reality. Especially experiences like Microsoft Flight Simulator and Elite Dangerous. Good mental health. Doing nude modeling. One of the best decisions I ever made. And until then I was convinced I was ugly as all hell. Walking behind a natural waterfall. 39 when I saw it for the first time and I yelled with joy and cried happily. Humility. The earlier the better. That way you learn how to not take yourself so seriously. Happiness. For this audience, I'd say being truly poor with no safety net, such as parents, trust fund, investment portfolio or inheritance to save you. Having something that is a deeply held, guiding, and undisputed truth, turn out to be wrong. Parents that don't judge you. Being injured, teaches you a lot more than you might think. Poverty. It's amazing how many people show so little compassion for something they have never experienced. I had a very bad time in my life when 90% of my income was spent on rent and I had to ration slices of cheap white bread to make a loaf last a fortnight. It changed my view and gave me a social conscience. We need to protect and care for one another as the human race. The Grand Canyon. One of the very few tourist attractions that is worth seeing. Independence. Learn to live on your own and enjoy your own company. Learn to do your own laundry. Cook for yourself. Learn to pay your own bills. Eat at a restaurant on your own. And bring a book. The feeling of creating something, some piece of art, music, etc. that people you've never met go out of their way to tell you they appreciate. Got that feeling of doing something so well that people just stop to enjoy it is out of this world. I record guitar-oriented instrumental music. Gave a CD several years ago to a friend who also plays guitar. He works at an auto manufacturing plant. He let someone borrow it. And then like 3 months later someone gave it to him and said, "You've got to check this out." He retraced it and found out 5 different people passed it around to each other. It was basically anonymous music and it felt so awesome knowing that it was enjoyed.